India's DESI OS plan for mobile phones may give Google, Apple a major headache. Not a run for their money, but just a major headache. Not stiff competition, a major headache. The project, touted as IndOS, is an initiative of the government, startups, and academia to move. The move is intended to counter Google and Apple's dominance in India's mobile operating system market. Well, that doesn't quite sound like a free market at that point. Doesn't that influence that in a certain way, considering who's funding it? I know there has been concern of like too much power on the side of foreign corporations. And this has been discussed not just in India, but almost everywhere, where they would say, hey, we don't want those antenna or that network infrastructure being installed by a foreign power. What if it reaches into operating systems or applications? I mean, we've already seen some reluctance around ByteDance and TikTok in India, and they said, no, thanks. And all of a sudden you had homegrown applications start to pop up. So why don't you go all the way down to the OS? Now, considering the government has power here to fund it, do they have power to subsidize it? Do they have power to make it extremely attractive? That's going to be tough because you're up against some major players that are doing one hell of a job at the moment. The move is intended to counter the dominance of Google and Apple in India's mobile operating system market. The Business Standard reported January 16th, citing top government officials. The Indian phone market is enormous, obviously, expected to generate Rs 2.4 trillion by 2026. Wow. It should be noted that Google's Android accounts for over 97% of the share in India.
Wow.
You got to take a deep breath on that one. 97%. India is one of the largest mobile device markets in the globe. Our objective is to create a secure Indian... See, they're going to go the security route. Secure Indian operating system that could also create choices and competition for Android's dominance. And you never know, like iOS might come take a piece of it. It's obviously there. And if they can bring the right products to market now that they're doing some manufacturing, they're avoiding some of the tariffs that were previously there. Maybe they can get more competitive and chew up some of that market share as well. But you want to talk about dominance, 97% market share. Well, obviously Alphabet won't like this very much. They're probably going to fight it however possible, I would assume. Google has so far said the CCI decision will force it to change its longstanding business model, and it will make smartphones more expensive, harm the internet, increase risks to privacy, and increase the cost of app. I mean, everything will go wrong if you do this to us. They're like, you don't want us out. It's kind of like, what is that bill here in Canada? Wasn't it C11?
Yeah.
And Google kind of had the similar approach to that, where they were saying the internet can't really operate this way. They're saying you're not doing all the math here. They're saying there could be unintended consequences of this decision, particularly if you have a 97% installed user base. People depend on these devices. These are utilities for them.